Welcome to Scuba Stanley Sailing and Adventures. Thanks for dropping by. Please hit that subscribe button. Roatan Honduras. This dive site's called the Valley of the King, and this was recorded in September of 2019. Here's a drawing of the dive site. You can see the top of the reef ranges from 35 to 55 feet. There's some sand pockets. The walls drop several hundred feet. Here we are on the top of the reef, and as soon as I enter the water, I have some squid in front of me. I try to get a little closer, but that's about as close as the squid we're going to let me get. Here's one of the sand pockets. A lot of blue fish on this reef. Here we see one of the many deep crevices along the edge of the reef. And some of the crevices actually are a lot larger. Here's a little pipefish. That's about as close as I could get with the large dome that I have on my dive housing. So I'll move along. Here's a large crevice. It reaches quite a distance back into the top of the reef. Again, this reef is just teeming with life. Great visibility on this dive. Visibility was probably well over 100 feet at the very least. I'm going to swim back into this crevice and explore a little bit. It's a bright sunny day, not a cloud in the sky. When I'm in a crevice like this, I often like to look up towards the sun. It's just a beautiful sight to see the sun coming down through these crevices. The colors on the walls are quite spectacular, but the light of the camera doesn't really bring it all out, and some of it's just lost. There's a little outcropping here on the reef, and most of the rest of the dive group went under, and I decided to stay for a minute and watch this river of blue fish flowing over the top of this outcropping. So peaceful just to watch the river of fish flowing over the reef. Moving along, I decided to go over the top of this outcrop. So much to see on this reef. You're never quite sure when something's going to catch the corner of your eye and find something interesting. Here you can see towards the top center of the screen something moving that happens to be a stonefish. I was surprised to find it. I'm not usually very good at finding stonefish. They blend in quite well. So you can see it almost looks like he has algae and other growth on his body. They're very, very sedentary. So it's easy to swim right past one. I don't think I would have noticed him if he hadn't have moved. Looks like he's not quite settled in yet. They have barbs on their dorsal fin, which are hollow, and then they actually have sacs of venom at the bottom of those barbs. And if you're unfortunate enough, they will stick that into you, and the venom will be injected through that spine. Very, very painful, extremely dangerous. I think most often people that get stung are people that step on them, because they do live in shallower water as well. I wanted to get a look at the front of him because it almost looked like his eyes would prevent him from looking directly forward. Not certain. I probably should look that up. He appears to be getting a little agitated, so I'll have a final close-up and move along. I see the legs of a lobster in the opening to the left. I'll move in for a closer look. Again, I have a large dome port on my dive housing, and difficult to really get any closer. On the other side, there's a green moray eel. Again, there's quite a bit of an overhang here, and I really can't get in any closer with the large dome port on my dive house. And you can see the lobster there just to the left of the green moray eel. The eel doesn't seem particularly happy anyway. I think he's already had several other divers visit him in the past few minutes. Back on top of the reef, I found another green moray eel. Lots of things to see at this dive site. Turned out to be a really great dive site. I always enjoy seeing these green moray eels. They're not really shy, and sometimes you can get pretty close. There's a little boxfish hiding in this plant. Again, wrapping up the dive, moving along the top. Wonderful dive site, the Valley of the King, here in Roatan, Honduras. Thanks for watching.